Hey, what's up guys? It's me, Cool Robert. And today in this video, you guys are in for a little treat. Because I'm gonna show you my entire Godzilla collection. Yay! And they're right there in that bin right behind me. We're not gonna show off the Monsterverse figures because they already got their own separate video, if you wanna check that out. In this video, we're just gonna be focusing on the other Godzillas from over the years. Alright, the first guys we're gonna show off are these guys because these five were a part of the same wave and same line from when I was a kid. And they all came in the same packaging with Godzilla looking all fiery, breathing his breath. And he was just all furious looking. So I think the first one we're gonna start with is of course Godzilla himself. I used to have a figure of Godzilla 19 something a while back, but the arm on that figure broke off, so I just threw him away. Luckily I still have the rest of these guys. So we're starting off with Burning Godzilla. Oh crap, there's a spiderweb on this guy. How did he get spiderwebs if he was in that box?
I don't know, but...
So an interesting fact, I used to call this guy Fire Godzilla, because I'm pretty sure that's what the packaging said on him, or maybe I just wasn't paying attention at the time. I was actually convinced Fire Godzilla was the actual name of this variant, and I thought he was a separate character, like how we had Mechagodzilla and Space Godzilla. But I was wrong, because I got to watch Godzilla vs. Destroyer for the first time, and that's where I found out this is Godzilla. He's just got so much nuclear energy that it gave him flame patterns. So this figure right here was made around 2002, and he came in a line with these other figures. I think he might have been part of the first wave, and maybe Ghidorah and Gigan were part of the second wave. I don't remember, I'll have to look into that. But anyways, this figure looks pretty cool. I love all the paint they did for the flames. I like how right here you have a little yellow, then it fades into the orange. And then we got his dorsal plates done in a little airbrush effect of orange. I almost called it red for some reason. My only issue is that none of the plates down here are done in that same orangey color. And another cool detail is that his eyes are all orange. Another issue I have with this guy is that on this hand, his fingers look fine, but on this hand, it looks like he's got General Grievous style fingers. So, what's with that? Next up, we have another monster from the same era as this guy. It's Space Godzilla. Godzilla's evil clone from outer space. And this figure looks pretty cool. He's got some articulation for the tail. But unlike this guy, his legs don't move, which is a bummer for me. But his arms still move, and so does his head. I do like the colors on this guy, but as you can see, he's kind of been through the ringer. A little paint scuffing, a little scuffed up on the tail, a little scuff mark there on the toe. As you can see here, my dog chewed off his hand, but luckily I glued it back on, so it still functions. And he's got this red underbelly, which continues to the tail here. I like that attention to detail. And he's got these funny looking shaped knees. Next up we have everyone's favorite buzzsaw monster. It's Gigan. Another interesting fact, I used to call this guy Gigan because me and my dad thought that's how his name was pronounced. It wasn't until years later I found out it was actually pronounced Gigan, not Gigan. You idiot. So anyways, he's got some nice details for the gold scales here. Almost look like the scales on Ghidorah, only he has some green on him. And then we got these 3 wings on his back. And this guy's also been through the ringer. And we got his blade arms done in a silver. Same with the beak and the spikes on his head. And then his Cyclops eye is done in a shiny coat of red. And it looks like there's a little bit of silver right here on the belly. Not sure how that got there. And I also don't know how he got this. Maybe I was trying to make some effect of blood on his blade, and it didn't turn out well? I don't remember. Oh. I thought the tail could rotate, but it can't. Guess it's glued in place. Anyways, there's Gigan for you. And it won't be complete without Gigan's partner. Or I guess Gigan is his partner. Anyways, we have Godzilla's arch nemesis, King Ghidorah. And I love how this figure looks. It looks awesome. When I got this, I was glad to complete the set here with these two. They're like the tag team. And the interesting fact is that this figure is actually based off how Ghidorah looked in GMK. And if you don't know what GMK is, it's the movie where Godzilla has all white eyes and he's apparently possessed by some sort of ghost or something. And he has to beat up Ghidorah, Mothra, and Baragon. Pretty interesting that this figure is based off that design. So anyways, he's done in a goldish color, and he's got some nice detail on the scales here. And a little nice detail right here under the necks. And for a basic figure, the head sculpts do have some pretty good sculpting on them. So the wings can move, and the tail can move. And the weird thing is the tail's at this certain angle. Could do a weird rotation type of thing. Not sure why they went with that design. I'm sure they had their reasons. Sadly, the necks don't move. And it looks like the head should be able to move, but they can't. Not even a little rotation. That's a bummer. And next up, we have another iconic Godzilla villain. It is Mechagodzilla. And this is based off of how he looked in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. So unlike the first one where he was created by aliens, this one was created by leftovers from King Ghidorah's Mecha version of himself. I honestly wish I had a Mecha Ghidorah in my collection, but I don't. But anyways, Mechagodzilla, he's looking pretty good. And the interesting thing, I actually tried to stick these pieces on him to give him the shoulder cannons he had in Tokyo SOS. I just loved how he looked in that movie with those guns on his shoulders and he's just pew 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 pew, destroy everything! Yeah, that was just pretty awesome. So Mechagodzilla's got a little rotation at the head here. Arms rotate. Get a little bit of wiggling at the tail. But no articulation for the legs here. And he's got a lot of scuffs on him. Scuff, scuff, red looking scratch right there. And I think that's from the tape I used to stick a cannon on his shoulder. Oh, there's another scuff. Scuff, scuff, scuff. Another scuff on his foot. And another red scratch. Oh, there's a scuff right there. He's got some scuffs on his fingers. Oh, look, more scuffs all over here. Oh my god, the scuffs, they're everywhere. Everywhere! Now let's move on to the second line. So half of these are based off Final Wars, some are based off other variants from over the years, but they did come around the same time. I think we'll start off with this guy first. We have Godzilla 2000. And this guy's one of my favorite designs of Godzilla. He's just got the dorsal plates that look like they could just rip through you. Well, they did rip through someone. If you guys have seen Godzilla vs. Megaguirus, you know he actually used these to rip off one of Megaguirus' claw hands. And that was pretty good usage of the dorsal plates. We all thought they were just for display. Well, think again, pal. He's got some nice details. I love the color purple on his spines. My only gripe is that he's in this sort of running pose. I wish he was in a more neutral pose like this guy. So this figure came out around 2007, and I think some of these other guys I have here came around the same time. We'll find out soon. He can move his hands out. He's like, put your hands up, put your hands up. And he can kick his feet. When you move this foot back, it's in an awkward position. But when you kick this one back, he can do like a Sheamus Bro kick, like, Hiya! Next up, we have a few figures that came around 2006. Here we got Final Wars Rodan. This is the only Rodan I have in the collection. Well, actually, no, I have the Monsters Rodan. But I don't have like the classic Rodan, or Rodan from around the same time as this guy. But this Rodan's still pretty cool. He does have a little scratch right here and some scuffs on the beak, but he's still pretty cool. His head can rotate, does have a little movement on here, and like most of these guys, his fingers are glued on because my dog liked to chew on them. No, stop! I give up! A fun fact, I used to redo the scenes from Final Wars with all my Godzilla figures. I actually had a plan to get every Godzilla monster from every movie and do this one epic movie with all of them. What are you talking about exactly? Maybe I'll still try to do that. Next up, we have Final Wars Gigan. Another interesting fact, I used to think these two were two completely different characters because he was Gigan, and back then I used to call this guy Gigan. But nope, they're the same character, just with different designs. I love how this guy looks, but as you can tell, he's missing the spike on his head. I know it's somewhere. I'll find it soon. Another issue I got with this guy is that his wings are stuck together. They should be spread out like this. I think maybe if I put something in between here, heat these up, and just leave them in this position for a while, they'll stay that way. They'll stay that way. I might try to do that. Anyways, Gigan, he still has the belly chainsaw, and he's got these hooks he can launch out. And then he's got the spike tail here. He's just looking more crazy than ever. Look at me, I'm a crazy rock star, yeah! Next up is Final Wars Anguirus. The only Anguirus I have in my collection, but he's a pretty cool looking figure. And there's something sticky on his foot. So he's got his back shell right here full of deadly spikes. He has some basic articulation for his feet and arms. As you can see right here, his tail like came apart, but I glued it back on. Just put a lawn stick in here, and then try to spray paint it the same color. And the color of the paint is a pretty close match to the body. Not sure if you can tell, but it's slightly darker than the gray on here. I actually did a scene in the movie where Anguirus did get his tail chopped off by Gigan. If y'all remember that scene, let me know in the comments. But Anguirus here, he's looking pretty good. He just looks menacing, like he wants to fight someone. Hey, don't look at me, I don't want to fight you, man. Just get out of here. Alright, this one came out from 2007. And it's everyone's favorite destructive monster. And in my opinion, he's kind of like the final boss. Almost like The Rock. It is Destroyer. This guy looks so menacing. Destroyer looks like he's a demon from hell. But he's actually just some mutated critter from an oxygen thingy. So basically, he's just made up of microorganisms. And they all form together to make this guy. Haha, yeah, fear me, mortals. pretty cool that I have this guy and this guy. If I wanted to, I could create my own final battle with Godzilla and Destroyer. Just but similar to that Godzilla where he had the weird General Grievous figure, this guy has some weird things going on. How the arms are sculpted here, it looks like this one's going out. And when you rotate this other one, it looks like it should be trying to go in, but it just stays going out. That's kind of weird. Another thing I don't like is that one of the wings likes to go behind this one, but this wing stays behind the bigger wing. What the heck is up with that, dude? But at least he can kick his feet backwards and forwards, unlike most of these guys. So you do get some points for having articulated feet, my friend. Wow! I actually had a mini version of Destroyer, but I ripped off his wings. I was young, I did stupid stuff with my toys back then. I always ripped off random parts. I don't know why I did that. I wish I could go back in time and prevent myself from destroying my own action figures. Because some of them were pretty good figures, man. And here's another 2007 Bandai figure. We have Hedorah, the sludge monster. Just a monster made of garbage and sludge and stuff. Oh my gosh, he's just hideous! I don't think his colors are accurate to how he appeared in the actual movie Godzilla vs. Hedorah. But the colors are pretty cool. Silver, a little black, some hint of red in there, some greens, and then we got green coming out from this crack on his head. Why does he have a crack on his head? Did you not use enough moisturizer on there, buddy? And the weird thing is, he doesn't have any articulation. He's basically just a statue. But that doesn't really bother me. I do like the details on him, though. And my favorite part is how red his eyes are. Just like how he appeared in the movie. He just looks menacing, like he just wants to kill you. Next up, we have a fella that came out around 2013. It is King Caesar. Now, I never heard of King Caesar till I watched Final Wars a couple years ago. And then I realized he appeared in another movie, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. He teamed up with Godzilla to face Mechagodzilla. No, not this version. Now, when I first saw King Caesar, I wasn't sure exactly what kind of creature he was. I mean, he kind of looks like a dog with the floppy ears. Is he a dog? I have no idea, man. If you guys know what he's supposed to be, let me know in the comments. But anyways, he's got some nice kicking articulation, so he can kick someone. His arms can move. Looks like he's waving to somebody. Who are you waving to, buddy? This arm moves. And the tail can move. And you can actually make the ears, Anyways, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, you can actually move the ears so you can create his, move where he can move his ears up like he's ready to do a special move or something. But I don't like doing it this much because I'm concerned that like stresses the plastic in there and it'll break these off. So maybe I'll get another King Caesar that has the ears pointing up. That way I won't have to move these so much. Because I do not want to break the ears off of this guy. This is one of my favorite figures. And here's the last Bandai figure in the collection. It is Godzilla from 19-something. Basically the first Godzilla that made his first cinematic appearance in the films. The OG that started the whole franchise. So here's an interesting story behind this one. This one was actually a gift from this thing we did in my gym class. We like exchanged gifts to each other. He also came with one of the mini Godzillas I got in my collection. I sadly do not remember the name of the guy who got me this. I am so sorry. Dude, if you're watching this video, I'm so sorry I forgot your name. I'll try to figure out what your name was. But until then, thank you for the Godzilla. So this guy came out in 2009, as it says here on the bottom of his foot. This Godzilla looks pretty good. He's got some good textures. He can't move his feet. And the tail's got some good motion. I mean, look at that. It's almost like a whip. But the only thing I don't like is how they did the arms on this figure. I mean, this one can move fine, but... I mean, what's with this arm? It looks like he's trying to throw a baseball. But I won't complain that much about his weird articulated arms. I mean, he's still a good looking figure. He is a good replacement for the other version of this figure I lost a couple years ago. And I'll forever treasure you in the collection, buddy. Gee, thanks, man. Alright, that was it for all the Bandai figures, but we're not done yet. What? Oh no, we have another one. And our next figure is... BAM! It is Shin Godzilla from 2016. And this guy is the most terrifying version of Godzilla in my opinion. I mean, technically he's not Godzilla because Godzilla's a mutated dinosaur. And this guy, he's just made up of smaller creatures like Destroyer and Hedorah. But he is created from radiation like Godzilla. So this is the NECA version of Shin Godzilla, or Godzilla 2016, whichever you prefer to call him. I did a review on this figure a while back, and if you guys have seen that video, let me know in the comments. So this guy, he's got some pretty good sculpting detail on him. I think he's done in black with a little dry brushing of red, multiple different reds. And look at the face. It might not be accurate to how he looked in the movie, but it still looks pretty scary. And look at how wide his mouth can open. Gosh, like, he could probably swallow up your whole head if he wanted to. And down here we have the tail that has the weird looking face, but you can't really see it that well in this one. So that's it for Shin Godzilla, but we're not done there. There's a few more stuff in the collection. Alright, I also have these little guys. I have a Gigan, but I have no idea where he is. So the Gigan and these two were in a little pack that came with other monsters. Fortunately, I lost all of them. And what's worse is I had this habit where I like to take pieces off my figures. Like this Mothra's missing her antenna, part of her wings torn, so I had to glue it up. His arm almost came off and I had to glue it up. And I tore off his wings. I can't believe I did that! And I regret doing that to this day. How could you pass me? What did these figures ever do to you to deserve this torture? I really wish I hadn't done this. But I was young and stupid at the time, man. I had no idea what I was doing. Alright, here's the next item in my collection. It's a plush figure. So this is a plush version of Rodan. More specifically, Rodan from around the Heisei era. And this plush looks pretty cool, although mine has this little tear near the beak. I can easily stitch that up, or have my mom stitch that up. What's really cool about this plush is that it's got bendy wire in the tail, so you can bend it like that. And you also got bendy wire in the legs, so you could do the splits, kick forward, and you can also bend the knee, which is a pretty cool feature that this plush has. So this guy was a Christmas gift from a long time ago, and I'm really glad that I got this guy. And if you guys remember, I actually used this plush in my movie Godzilla Rise of the King. And this was like Rodan when he was like powered down or something in the movie. But I'm glad I kept this guy because he did serve a good purpose in that film. Next up we have my plush of Kaiser Ghidorah. or known as Monster XO or Monster X2. Not sure which one of those. Anyways, this guy is a plush just like Rodan, and he's got some gold scales. And I really like how big this plush is. I mean, let me compare him next to my Godzilla real quick. So here's my NECA Godzilla, and my other two Godzillas are around the same size as this guy, so this should give you a good scale on how big this Ghidorah is. And if you guys want an accurately sized Kaiser Ghidorah for your films, this guy would work for that. And I really love how this figure looks. And just like Rodan, this guy also has bendy wire in his wings. So you could bend them, maybe like have them folded in like this, or have them outwards like he's ready to fly. But I'm not sure if we ever saw this guy fly in the movie. Well, Godzilla tossed him, but that doesn't really count as flying. It also has bending wire in this wing. So I was originally going to use this guy for this movie I had planned. Maybe I'll still try to do that. If you guys want to see a movie with this guy in it, let me know in the comments. And here's the last item in the plush section of the collection. This is my plush version of Destroya. So just like Rodan, I also got this guy for Christmas. And he's in pretty rough shape. I mean, he kind of looks fine, but he's been in the barn for a while and he's collected dust and probably a little bit of rat pee and doo-doo. Okay, this is starting to get gross. So I'm not going to touch him right now till I get him cleaned up. So unlike the mini Destroyer I have, he's done in a dark red instead of all black. He's got bendy wire just like Rodan and Kaiser Ghidorah. But I think the wing on this side might be a little bit broken. I'm thinking after I get this guy cleaned up, I might use him in a future film. I actually thought of using him as like a character for my Tommy and Spyro videos. Oh, I got something. So I think that's going to be it for my Godzilla collection right there. Let me know which one of these figures and plushes was your favorite. I might try to get more of these guys sometime along the line. There are a few monsters from the old series I want to add, like Gorosaurus, Baragon, Jet Jaguar. Anyways, like the video, subscribe for more content like this, hit the bell for notifications, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.